Here are the top 20 biggest mistakes in the history of football. And for number 20, keep your eyes on that crying man on the pitch. Truth is that it should have been his former club Barcelona crying, because they made a huge mistake in selling him to their rivals. You probably know the story, and it ends with him beating his former club to win the title. Speaking of titles, our number 19 is the biggest mistake of Steven Gerrard's playing career, which cost him and his teammates the league title. And this infamous clip was such a costly mistake that it meant that the legend would retire without a Premier League trophy. And while Chelsea fans must have enjoyed that one, they surely didn't enjoy our number 18. Their own defender put the ball past their own keeper, and that didn't look good for them at all. Now, you see the 08 Champions League final? That was a game of epic and costly mistakes. At number 17, we have this extremely stupid mistake from Didier Drogba. Putting your hands on another person's face? Surely you're gonna get sent off, dude, and cost your team the trophy. You're smarter than that, my man. Come on, dude. Number 16 is a mistake you can be a little more sympathetic with, but an extremely costly mistake nonetheless. The captain was presented with an iconic moment of winning the club's first ever European trophy, but he slipped just when he got to the penalty spot, and boom, the trophy was gone. Speaking of finals, our number 15 features one of the biggest mistakes ever made in a major final. This wasn't just a final though. It was Zidane's final. Zizou's final game, bro. And I guess you could say he was using his head, but wasn't using his head. You get me? Like, come on, dude. What kind of stupid mistake was that? You just cost your whole country a World Cup. It even cost yourself a Ballon d'Or and the most iconic career exit in football history. Stupid. A stupid mistake, man. What, you thought that was stupid? Check out number 14. How do I say this with a straight face on? Okay, so Real Madrid had the chance to sign Ronaldinho way back in 2003, but turned him down because, wait for it, he was too ugly. What? How are you going to refuse to sign a player because of how he looks? Such a ridiculous mistake, and no doubt they paid for it heavily. And you know who else paid heavily for their mistake? Chelsea. No, literally. The London club literally went and paid €80 million for a goalkeeper whose daily routine was making errors. Now, the world's most expensive goalkeeper, he only sits on the bench and watches on now. That purchase is our number 13 biggest mistake in football history, and Chelsea definitely paid for it. Guess what? The second most expensive goalkeeper in football history is our number 12. Just take a look at this. That's 2 huge mistakes in about 20 seconds. Of course, they got thumped. What else do you expect when your expensive GK is scared of the ball? Nah. You seriously can't guess what we have for our number 11. Kid, it's the 3rd most expensive goalkeeper in world football. Oh my gosh. What really is it with these extremely pricey goalkeepers, man? I mean, just watch them serve the opponent the ball on a plate. What were you thinking, goalie? But you know, we can never talk about goalkeepers' errors without mentioning the most legendary of them all. But Karius was far from expensive, so hey, you can relax a bit. At number 10, we have Karius, with perhaps the biggest mistake you'll ever see in a Champions League final. I don't even have words for these. Like, how? What was going on in your head, bro? Not once, but twice? Dude, come on, man. Our number 9 biggest mistake in the history of football has to be Neymar choosing to leave Barcelona. Everybody, including Neymar, just knows that if he hadn't left, he would have established himself as one of the greatest players ever by now. Number 8 is a spillover of number 9, because Barcelona, spending nearly €400 million on 3 players in the space of 2 years, has to go down as one of the biggest mistakes a big club has ever made. And the mistake ended up being so costly because not only did every one of those players perform extremely bad, those moves ended up being a huge reason the club lost their greatest ever player last year. And of course, you know who I'm talking about. And, oh yeah, this reminds me of Alexis Sanchez. Well, he wears the number 7 on his back, so we'll put him at number 7. This kid really chose Manchester United over Manchester City. Dude, this isn't the 90s or the 2000s, bro. Why would you make such a huge mistake? He is, in fact, still paying for that mistake. And number 6, we have one of the most hilarious mistakes ever. Now, I'd really like to get into the head of this goalie and find out what was going on in there at this exact moment. World Cup winner Varane makes top 5 because you, sir, should have known better. 2 huge mistakes in a Champions League knockout game? And against a club like City? Surely that dude is gonna be punished. Our guy number 4, he's probably the most confused referee I've literally ever seen. This guy really blew the final whistle in the 85th minute. Huh? What kind of rookie mistake is that, ref? You have a watch for a reason. It's even crazier, because he took a look at his watch right before that. And guess what? He made the same mistake again in the same match, blowing the final whistle in the 89th minute. Maybe his favorite TV show was about to start and didn't want to miss it. But our number 3 biggest mistake in the history of football doubles as the most hilarious mistake in the history of football. Because how on earth did Ajax Amsterdam spend so much money on a player and forget to register it? You know what's even crazier? That's their record signing. The dudes didn't even realize their mistake until fans on the internet noticed that Sebastian Haller's name wasn't in the squad list they released. No, but seriously now, how do you spend that much money on a player and then just forget about it? I spend change on a Coke, and I definitely don't forget to drink it. And number 2, it's an error that the English are yet to get over. Lampard scored an extremely obvious and extremely legitimate goal, but the ref, he just didn't count it, simply because the ball bounced back out. That mistake from the ref was so grave that it birthed the video assistant ref we see today. Now, the biggest and costliest mistake in the entire history of football. That Andres Escobar own goal in the '94 World Cup against the USA. The goal not only cost Colombia the match, it also cost Escobar his life. Just 5 days after they were knocked out of the World Cup, the player went back to Colombia and was murdered for his mistake in that game against the United States. No. Those guys took it way too far. Murder's never a punishment for a mistake on the football pitch, and it never will be. Anyway, you know what my goal is? For you to click on this video right here. Hey, come on, man. I know you ain't doing anything else. So what are you doing? Click it.